Welcome to the Monday Injury Report, the last one of 2020. Thank God. I am joined as always by Dr. Mark Casimiro. How's it going, Mark?
It's going, Nick. It's going. I might not have to eat another ounce of food for the rest of this year because I ate so much this weekend, but we're doing well.
Well, it sounds like you had a good Christmas weekend. I did a lot of eating as well. I'm pushing everything till 2021, January 1st. I don't normally do New Year's resolutions, but I think I am going to this year because 2020 was a doozy. Well, I hope anybody who had any players going this past weekend, and for most it's championship weekend, I hope they listened to Dr. Mark's advice. I know I listened to your advice on Antonio Gibson with that turf toe. I stayed away. I benched him, started Jeff Wilson Jr., and it ended up winning me a championship. So I did not have a good fantasy year. I'm in 4 leagues, and in three out of 4 I was dismal, very bad. But thanks to your advice, I was able to win one home.
That's right, one championship. That's all we're in the mood. No one cares if you finish second or third or fourth. Your championships are bust. So if you're gonna finish second, you might as well finish last.
You're right, and it's been I've had quite the drought. So we have somebody joining us saying hi, Mark, Lisa Marie Lunt. So I don't know if you know them, Mark, but they're saying hi to you on Facebook.
What up, Lisa Marie?
So let's jump right in. We got Monday Night Football tonight, and there are a couple big names we'll talk about. If people are out there and you need a Monday Night Miracle to win your championship, you're probably going to be relying on Stefon Diggs. And last week he had that foot injury, but he does not have an injury designation. But I'm going to talk about someone that's even maybe more important than him because he's not going to be out there. And we talked about him a little bit last week. That's Stephon Gilmore. They said that it wasn't as serious as it appeared. But then we find out after we did the injury report last week, Mark, that Stefon Gilmore actually has a partial quad tear and has already undergone surgery. So let me put it like this. Would you rather someone have a partial quad tear and get that surgically repaired, or an ACL, MCL, a knee injury that they had to get surgically repaired? What recovery is going to be quicker, easier, and which one is going to be the one that you think they can bounce back from to be 100%? I guess I'll say.
That's a good question. I think so. First part of the question, I think that from an ACL injury or a quad tendon injury, you can get back to 100% on both of those injuries, are close to 100%, maybe not 100%, maybe you're 90, 95%. Obviously, these athletes, the rehab team is trying to get them back as close to 100% as they can. I think it's a matter of the time that it takes. I think for an ACL injury, you're looking at 9 to 12 months. With a quad tendon, a partial quad tendon repair or rupture with a repair, 4 to 6 months, somewhere in that range. I would say, as the athletic trainer and physical therapist in me would always say, I'd rather have a muscle. Wow, English today, Nick, is very difficult. I'd rather have a muscular injury. I did some drinking this weekend too, in addition to the eating. Can you tell?
Cheers.
I'd rather have a muscular injury than a ligamentous injury. When you're talking ligamentous injury, you're talking about the stability of the knee, and that can be a little bit harder to recover from. Depending on what kind of surgery you have or what kind of injury you have, can make the surgery a little bit different or make the recovery times a little bit longer. So I think you'd rather have the muscular injury or the quad tendon repair, but that's not an easy thing to recover from either, and that's kind of a hard one at his age to recover from. But it would probably mean less time on the injured list and able to get back into some running and some football activities a little bit quicker than if it was his ACL. But I really have a bone to pick with them because they said it wasn't a serious injury. So I was like, oh, maybe meniscus, maybe it's like a little bit of a strained muscle. But they said a quad tendon, a partial tendon rupture. So that's kind of a serious thing, unless they're calling it like a grade 3 muscle strain. So we've had this conversation before, like a muscle rupture or a muscle tear and like a muscle strain are kind of the same or very similar things. We're just talking semantics when you're talking about that the wording or the phrasing. So maybe he did have just a really bad strained quadricep that they're going to need to go in and do surgery. But what I read and what I saw was a tendon rupture, which is a little bit more serious. So I don't know where they were coming from that the injury wasn't as serious. I guess when you look at it compared to an ACL injury, yeah, it's not as bad. But still kind of a serious injury. And I would still question if he's going to be ready to go in August when they start up with their preseason stuff. Even though that's 8 months away, he's still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and I know, up to the trade deadline, there was rumors going around that the Pats were trying to trade him. They wanted a first-round pick for him. They didn't get him. Now it might be a little tougher to move a guy and to get a first-round return on somebody who's coming off a injury like that. So, other side of the ball now, let's talk about Stefon Diggs. He suffered that foot injury 6 days ago, does not have an injury designation. He doesn't have Stephon Gilmore to go up against. So, the Bills are still trying to keep that 2 seed alive. They can't catch the Chiefs, unfortunately, for the first round bye, but they're still trying to make sure that the Steelers don't pass them. So do you think if you're going into Monday night and you need, say, 30 plus points from Stefon Diggs, do you think there's a chance he goes out there and can do that for you?
I think so. I mean, so last week there was no reports of him in a boot or a walking boot or using crutches when he left the stadium. There's been really no. I mean, usually you'll see pictures on Twitter or Instagram like, oh, Stefon Diggs is in the Bills complex, but he's got a walking boot on. Obviously things are a little bit different now because of COVID and who's allowed and who's not allowed into the team areas and stuff like that. But usually you'll hear rumors like, oh, he was seen around the Bills campus walking with a walking boot or had crutches. That would kind of tell me maybe there is something going on, but there's been no reports of that. He practiced the whole practice on Friday, even though it looked like it was a non-contact kind of practice, although most of the practices now are non-contact because of all the new regulations in the CBA. So, I think that's good news. I don't think that he'll be, if he misses time or if he doesn't produce, I don't think it's going to be because of an injury. So I think if you have him on your fantasy team, feel very comfortable with starting him in your lineup.
Well, I know in one of the championships in one of the leagues I'm in, one of my buddies is looking for a Monday Night Miracle with Stefon Diggs. He needs a lot of points out of him. So let's see if he can get it. There's going to be a couple games coming down to the wire tonight, mostly with Bills players, not a lot of Pats players that you can count on right now to put up a lot of points. On Twitter, we did have @JFlax36 say, what about Belichick being in the concussion protocol? I think that's just a Bill Belichick hater out there trying to
part of the Bills Mafia? You think it's part of the Bills Mafia?
No, I think it's more of he's in the Tom Brady camp, that Tom Brady is greater than Bill Belichick, and he's asking why he is still out there rolling out Cam Newton instead of starting Jared Stidham. I won't make you answer that one. Well, how about this, Mark? Do you think Bill Belichick should be in the concussion protocol?
I don't have any information. I don't think he should be in the concussion protocol. I don't have any. I can't give you one. Yeah, I can't speak about that. I don't know any information. So JFlax36, give me some more info. If it is a concussion, what they would do is, give him some aerobic activity, get his heart rate up a little bit. Then they see how you respond to that, make sure you don't have any symptoms. And then the next day you add a little bit more. The next day you add a little bit more and keep adding more task on that. Maybe you give him a 38-year-old quarterback and a 20-year-old quarterback and see which one he picks over to start on the team. I have no information, though, about whether he has a concussion or not.
Well, he said, I appreciate you taking my question.
And we appreciate the question. We need more questions on here.
Yeah. Serious questions or not, we need them. We do need more questions, more engagement, more interaction on here.
Best Christmas gift, best holiday gift that you've received this year. I got an air fryer. It was great.
Nice. What have you air fried so far?
We made chicken wings yesterday. They were crispy and nice.
Nice. I have an air fryer as well, and I love making chicken wings in it. This has just turned into a Food Network special now, and just talking about air frying. But you know what? Maybe it'll get people engaged. Well, I'm glad we did get some engagement today, and hopefully we get more next week. Remember, if you have any questions out there, you got to put them in the comments below. You got to chat with us so we can answer them. 2020, it's almost over. I think we're all happy to see it go. Dr. Mark, do you have any last words for 2020 and for the new?
Get out of our face, 2020. Get out of our face, 2020.
Yes. I think we'll all be happy to see it go, and hopefully things can take a turn for the better in 2021. Mark, thank you always for all your insight on all these injuries. I appreciate it.
Hey, Nick, thank you very much. And let me be the first one to tell you, I'll see you next year. I'll see you next year.
Love it. I love it. You know what? I try to say Happy New Year to people and see how long I can go. So I'll say Happy New Year. It's like May. Still just say, hey, Happy New Year. And until someone gives me a weird look, like, what? It's like, to see how long you can keep it going, Well, I don't know what a good time frame is. Probably like January, and then you should stop. But no, I keep it going. Keep it going. That's we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it in 2021. So everybody out there, keep it going. Join us again next Monday. Remember, even if you can't join us live and you have questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll talk about them next Monday. Going into the final week of the regular season for the NFL, we'll talk basketball for all you fantasy basketball heads out there, and we'll keep this going throughout the playoffs. So everybody have a happy, healthy, safe week and a good New Year's Eve. Stay safe, and we'll see you in 2021.
Peace, everyone.